Can everybody hear me? What about all the way in the back? This is the best public speaking because there's trees, so it only looks like there's maybe 10 or 15 people here, so that feels like the best type of public speaking. As everybody rolled in, I kind of said to myself, this feels a little bit more like a wedding almost than a morning occasion, and I love that because we've said that today really is a celebration of Mom's life. Before we get started, for those that don't know me, my name is Parrish, and Patricia was my mom. There is a memorial inside, so please do take a look at that. Please sign the guest book and take with you a little something that is a little piece of Mom that you can wear, and you can remember her every time that you see it. As I said, today is a celebration. The smiles, the reasons to get together with people can be anything. But to see so many people that I haven't seen in a long time is truly special. I'm going to bring it over to Paige, and she's going to talk about something very, very special.
Good afternoon. Welcome. Thank you. The response to the emails I was sending out was remarkable. The Facebook posts and all the love that I felt and my family has felt over the past past 6 months, I guess you could say. But during this time, we've been busy, not just planning a celebration of life, but we've also been planning to bring back something so near and dear to my mom that it took us, well, even beyond the 6 months, because Terry, can you wave, Terry? Terry has been working hard to try and find a home for us to be able to bring back the NAMI Family-to-Family education program. And if you don't know what that is, it's an education program. It's been around since 1979. The grassroots of it started around a kitchen table down in the U.S. where people were supporting one another who had loved ones who lived with mental illness and had to better help and support and understand what they were going through peer-to-peer support. So NAMI now has chapters and programs all over the world, including here in Ontario. And in 1999, the Kingston program started, and my parents actually took the program in 1999, and it was just as I was actually diagnosed with having bipolar disorder. It was quite a big crushing blow to the family to learn of my disorder, but my mom, instead of getting down about it, instead of being defeated by it, she took charge. And so she rolled her and my dad in this program. And it was throughout this program that they learned such great coping skills that they were able to really help me over the past 25 years. So Mom taught this program twice a year, 11 weeks each time, from 2000 until about 2019. At that point, her eyesight had got to be so bad from her disease to the progressive supranuclear palsy, which was undiagnosed then. She could no longer see to read. But I do remember her still being in class with us, Terry, and she'd try so hard, and I'd just hold her hand, and I'd take over and finish reading her section for her. And anytime there was that engagement with people, she was jumping right back in there to support. So, of course, we all had changes with COVID, so did our program. And we chose not to do a remote or a virtual program because this course is so, it's such a course that you need to be there to give that tissue, to put that arm around someone when they're not having a great time, or take them out of the room and talk to them one-on-one. So now that we're through most of COVID, we will say, and we are back in a setting where we can teach the class again, together with Terry, we have found a new home with Providence Care, and that was we decided the donation, charity of choice we wanted to have donations in lieu of flowers was to be able to bring back the NAMI Family-to-Family program here in Kingston. And if you're looking for more details or you have any questions, you can ask Terry about any of the program questions. Inside with the memorial, there is a QR code scan and instructions on how to donate. And you can always reach out to me personally, but we are bringing this back. Everyone, please welcome my father, who's going to tell us some words and memories of his wife, my mom, Patricia.
I'm so glad you're here today, and you're such good friends with my wife, because good people hang out with each other, and she was a good judge of people, all of you, and you were of her, liking her so much, okay? Pat and I met in '73 in Toronto, lived across the street, and I would look at her, she went up the other side of the street, and she'd sort of look over at me and shyly, and next thing you know, I went out, and 2 or 3 girls were around my car, and they got something off the car. It was a note that Pat wanted to meet me. She actually told them, I found the boy I'm going to marry. He lives across the street. So it worked out well altogether. We were together for half a century. She put up with me somehow, and it was wonderful. She was a wonderful person as a friend and as a wife, just as terrific as probably all of you are too, but she was terrific at in the kitchen, and I did the cleanup. She is dearly missed by all, even people at Arbor Care. Arbor Care is sort of like being on an ocean liner that doesn't go anywhere, but they took really good care of her there, and that's where I would like to shove off to too. Not too soon though. Anyway, she was the love of my life, what a wife should be. She was that and more. And so our first date, we went to Swiss Chalet, big deal, down on Yonge Street, and then we went out to a romantic walk around, getting to know her we went out on the ferry to Toronto Island. Our honeymoon in 1978. We were married at the same church as her sister and brother-in-law, the McClartys, and they introduced us to us. My best man, he was married there, and then when I told my parents where they were getting married, I said, St. Michael's All Angels, and she said, that's where your mother and I were married in 1939. Kind of a coincidence. Anyway, we went to Jamaica, and on our honeymoon, after stopping and seeing my parents in Florida. And so there was a kind of a strange thing down there. We were going from Montego Bay to Negril, and waiting to get a bus. And a taxi driver came up, and he said, "Oh, why don't you get rid of Whitey? I'll show you a good time. What are you doing here with him anyway?" He says, "We're on our honeymoon." And he went from he wanted to adopt us, I think. He thought it was really terrific. And so he says, "I'll tell you what," he says, "I'll take you to the grill. I won't put the meter on. You pay for the gas." He says, "That shouldn't be a problem." I said, "Why shouldn't that be a problem? It's not about the money. I just want to mix and mingle." He says, "Well, the only white men that marry black Jamaicans have got lots of money." I said, "Well, I guess I'm the exception." But so it was great. Pat liked to travel more than I did, and she went lots of places with lots of different friends and at different times. Anyway, the Parish and Paige are wonderful. Tori, his wife, and my grandson, who I prefer the name from calling me Grandpappy instead of Grandpa or Grampy. Grandpappy is nice. But anyway, thank you. That we've been blessed with a perfect day out here. No rain and no black flies or mosquitoes. Just a nice breeze. Anyway, Paige, if you'll take over again before I get too badly sunburned. Thank you all for coming. It's wonderful.
Parish, I took over MC. Auntie Althea, I'd like to bring a near dear friend of the family, who is family, to talk about memoirs that she has of my mom, and I'm hoping to hear things even before I was born.
Hi everyone, my name's Althea. This is still, I'm going to have to read because I'm not good at public speaking, so please excuse me. Okay. Just saying that I'm not good at public speaking. I used to actually be physically sick when I had to do it in class, so I'm trying to get through this. This is a bit surreal to me, losing Pat, because she had been a constant in my life since I was a little girl. I was 4 or 5 years old when she came to live with our family in Jamaica. She moved from Montego Bay to Pembroke Hall, a suburb of Kingston where we lived at the time, and she came to attend a new school. She would wake up at the crack of dawn to take Michael and I to school. And it was a better school and a safer school, but it was a very long walk, and it was 2 buses away. Not too many people would take on that responsibility at such a young age. She was only about 14 years old. Going to school, part-time caretaker, and helping my grandmother and my mother run the household. She fit right into our family like a found puzzle piece. Shortly after we moved to Canada, she followed and lived with us for a few years as well in Etobicoke. Those were our wonder years, just like the show. I remember her heading off to work, always dressed so beautifully and with her perfect manicured nails. I have so many wonderful memories of Pat, I'm not even sure where to begin, and she was a constant in our lives. She called me Aggie. That's my nickname given to me by my brother. Only a handful of people called me that, so it was very special. She was like my big sister, my confidant, my rock. She was a giver, always kind, positive, smart, and funny as hell. When I look through our family photo albums, I see so many pictures of her and my family popping up for so many important family functions and adventures. Her wedding was held at my parents' home. She came to New York for my birthday, my 40th birthday, and my first visit to the Statue of Liberty in Ellis Island with her and her family. She also came to be at my daughter's Sweet 16 party and her wedding. Then later we experienced Hurricane Sandy together. During Hurricane Sandy, she ran out of her medications. She charmed my local pharmacist who came to her rescue. By the time we left the store, he gave her a kiss on the cheek. I mean, who wouldn't want to kiss her? I also have a picture of her standing next to a gigantic fell tree. She was tiny, and the roots towered over her. She had this triumphant smile as if to say, yeah, we got through this. Now, if only the airport wasn't flooded and I wasn't stranded here. Please get me home. Another memory is when my brother took a gap year off university to reset his batteries and backpack through Europe on his 10-speed bike. It was Pat who went to bat for him, helping him to secure his first credit card by pulling strings at her bank. Otherwise, he would have spent another year burnt out and possibly not making it through 4 years of school. My second trip to Stratford outside of a school trip was with Pat. We took in some Shakespeare and we cheered on her roommate's boyfriend who had a starring role. Another wonderful time with her. When I had pneumonia, it was Pat who took care of me in her apartment. Her love and support was the best medicine I could have hoped for. She was nurturing, kind-hearted, and always offering to help. She was always there when it mattered. That being said, she was also emotionally strong with backbone. As they would say, kind but not weak. What she endured over the last few years of her life, battling PSP and staying positive throughout, was a testament to who she was as a person. She was a warrior, and I admired her and her strength. Some funny moments. This was long ago. My dad had just bought a new car, meaning pre-owned new, a beautiful midnight blue Oldsmobile, his baby. Mom, Pat, and I took her for a spin to the local Dairy Queen for banana splits. And that summer was a scorcher, and the ice cream melted all over his new car. He was a neat freak, so we had to quickly clean up the mess before he found out, and he never did find out. We laughed about that one for a long time. And another funny moment was years later when she arrived at a party, not having seen my dad for a while. She was so happy to see him, she ran to him, jumped into his arms, wrapped her legs around him, around his waist, laughing hysterically. She was in her 50s or 60s when this happened, making it even funnier, proving that she was forever young. And just last week, as fate would have it, I discovered Pat's 21st birthday party pictures along with another dear friend, again considered family, whose children are here today, Holly, Tammy, and Doobie. Pat and Joy both passed away within a few days of each other. Mom and Dad threw a party to celebrate their close birthdays back in the 60s. Any excuse for a party was our family motto. So recently, a box of slides from the 1960s were nearly discarded. Mom and I had no idea what was on them, as they'd been squirreled away for more than 40 years. Imagine our surprise to find these photos, which I like to believe was a gift sent down from these two amazing ladies. You can see a few of these pictures here today, which shows Pat's exuberance and love of life. All the years that I lived in New York, she remained as close as ever. She would call often and burn up the telephone wires, chatting about this and that, but mostly about our families. Wayne, Paige, Parrish were her world, and no one was prouder. I would hear about all of their accomplishments, and she was there supporting them every step of the way, as she supported me through all of life's ups and downs. I can't put into word what she meant to me. I only know that I miss her warmth and her unconditional love. She lives on in her two children, who I'm so grateful to be a part of their lives. And Wayne continues to keep her spirit alive as well. I believe she's with us here today saying, all of this for me? Yes, Pat, all of this for you, and so much more. I love you, and I'll miss you, always.